there's nothing you can do about that.
Right.
Yep, we are live.
All right. Hello, hello, hello. YouTube and Facebook family. This is Jay Havlin, brand ambassador of My Brothas Spot, and we have our senior web developer Willie. How you
Hello, how you
doing?
doing? Yeah.
All right, Willie. I got some questions for you today, man. I got
Yeah.
some questions, some AI
All right.
questions, so
Okay.
our viewers can, actually hear what you have to say about AI, since AI is really disruptive. So, um, we talking about today. Are you wired for success? Unlock opportunities with AI. So, how can AI chatbots save Black-owned businesses time and money?
Yeah, you're going right into it.
Hey,
Yeah.
man, I'm not
Yeah.
playing.
Well, that's what it's all about, right? AI is all about, saving you time and money, right? So if you have a business, there's actually a lot of things, a lot of ways to use AI, to save money, right? You have chat bots. A lot of people don't even know about that. You actually have Facebook, who has, if you have a Facebook page, you can actually have a chat box that you can put on your website, and you can kind of automate it to a certain degree, right? So why is that good? That's good because people can go on your website, they can contact you at 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, and you will still be able to interact with them, depending on the chatbot that you have. Obviously, Facebook is a free chatbot, so it's limited in what it can do, but there are some other chatbots there that will have a full conversation with your customers. If you're in the car, or especially if you're a small business, you basically don't have that much time, right? You have maybe kids, you have to pick them up here, so you're not available all the time to talk to your customers, right? So that will save you not only time, but it'll save you money, because if you're paying somebody to actually answer the phone for you, think about that, right? Now there are some options also when it comes to answering the phone. There's a bunch of tools there. I won't name any of the tools because I haven't tried a lot of them. But they are very, very good these days, especially with ChatGPT 5 coming out recently. I mean, the tools can basically have a complete conversation, with somebody, or completely understand what they're looking for. So I use a company called Agents.ai for some of the websites that I put together and stuff for my clients and for myself. It answers the phone. It also chats. With your clients that go on your website. So that's really cool because you don't have to, let's say, use your time at 5 o'clock. You can shut down just like anybody who has a job, and go on to your regular life. Watching your shows or spending time with your family or whatever, going to the gym. And in the meantime, AI is continuing to work. You know, so that saves you time. That's time that you can use for yourself. There are tons of tools that will save you time and money. Um, so it's just unlimited, offers there. So
Also, besides the questions, do we have our chat where people could leave messages? Is that open? I'm trying to see real quick. I know this is unprofessional, but
oh, yeah, yeah, no, it's no problem. I see what you're saying.
is
So
it
I
open?
just turned it on. I just turned it on.
Because I think I turned it off on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I just turned it on.
See,
No problem.
family, how Willie has my back and always make sure that everything is popping off right.
Well,
Now,
essentially, what we're doing is, we're the support team, right? So we put you on the right track, and you do what you do best. It could be cooking. It could be fashion design. It could be so many things, right? But you don't have to be an accountant, a lawyer, and all that stuff. You let the accountants, lawyers do that for us, for you, and then we're your support team when it comes to the technical side. Whether it be just whatever you're doing online, right, from
So,
social media.
family, what Willie is saying is that if you ever get a website by us, or a subscription website, a customized website, basically him and his team is going to support you. You won't have to really do anything but just mail off your products. And if you have a service, do your service. All the technical stuff is left up to my brother Spot Tech team, right, Will?
So just now, like we on this live, but I also, when you go live, we support you. So since I'm already on the live, I'm gonna fix it
Perfect.
if it goes
Perfect.
wrong, right?
That's
Yeah,
right. That's right.
yeah.
So Willie, what role can AI marketing assistance play in reaching new customers?
Oh man, that's one of the first thing that AI made possible to be able to market. I think on another live I was talking about Google, and for people who use Google Ads. Personally, I believe in organic traffic. So I do
Hmm.
everything that I can to drive organic traffic. So I don't really use Google Ads these days, except
Hmm.
for a few clients. But I have basically put my efforts in other things. But Google Ads does have, help you market your business online. It helps you put together, marketing content, you know, really nicely.
Hmm.
Also, I mean, if you use ChatGPT or Gemini, whichever you use, I mean, you can definitely create some designs, graphic designs. You can, have some newsletter. I mean, written where before, you have to get really inspired to, write a newsletter. You have to, just get down to typing and coming up with whatever you have to say. Right nowadays, you can just have an idea. You can say, hey, listen, my my customers, they're wondering, if we're going to be doing a special order for upcoming Halloween, right?
Right.
So can you write the newsletter? Can you write a newsletter? You can do that with AI now. You know what I mean? And there's also integration. So you have some tools that you can use that integrate into Gemini or ChatGPT, where you can directly just write, and it sends it to your customers, right? So these types of offers is everywhere. You know what I mean nowadays,
Right.
especially like newsletter, that kind of stuff. I mean, AI. The first thing that AI really mastered is writing. It's pretty good at writing. For those of you that used AI in the past year, you will notice that even within that period of time, um, it actually got better, you know,
Hmm.
at writing, So it's really, really good. I used to do a lot of writing before AI ever existed. Like I told you, like all of these websites that that I've shown you, I did all the writing,
And
and even
now you don't have to do all the writing.
I don't
And
have
for
to.
our and for also Willie, for our guests, I'm just letting them know that hey, we're gonna be telling you, also letting you know how my brother spot can help you get your business. There's some people in here that have clothing lines, there's some people in here that have service and products on their business. And what we're trying to show our people, family, is that AI is going to be highly disruptive. So you may want to listen and you may want to understand that My Brother Spot is a tech business. www.mybrotherspot.com can give you a customized website, a subscription website to where you can be your own target. You could, like the clothing section, you could be your own Target. You could be your own Walmart in like herbal section. This is for you. This is the future. You're not gonna, it's not gonna be a lot of employees in the future. So we're just trying to help our people have another alternative just in case what we're saying is going to come true. Sorry about that, Will. I just want them
No,
to
it's all
know.
good. That's why we're here. We're here to discuss about, how the opportunities with AI. This is what it is. You know what I mean? I mean, some of the things that we are able to offer on MBS, we are able to do it because, artificial intelligence is able to, help us do a lot of more stuff for the community that we serve, Black-owned businesses. You know,
Yep.
so you were mentioning earlier when you mentioned that other stuff, that it can write like, I can ask AI to write a blog for me, which is true. I'm still very picky and pushing my message because AI is not going to you know uh, say exactly the way I would say. For some people, I've been writing for a long time. For some people, if you're not a person that write a lot, so that's great. I guess you can go with that. But it's an assistant. Let's not forget, because a lot of people think that AI is going to replace us. I mean, who knows? Maybe in the future it will, but right now it's just an assistant, right? It just puts you on the right track, right?
And it's making
So
us into business owners.
that
That's
that
really what it's making
it
us.
allows you
And
to,
it's consistent.
yeah, it allows you to basically start your business and do some of the things that would have been really hard to do, 3, 4, 5 years ago, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it's actually, Willie, it's turning all of us, which I was an employee at one time, but it's turning all of us into mom and pop digital stores. That's the new way of the world. And our people, they're not letting us know. And all the other ethnicities already know this. And so we are trying to prepare you to be that mom and pop so you won't have to get on the universal basic income, and getting the lease. You could have your brand, people could be familiar with it, and you got 500 to 2,000 people rocking with you every 2 months. This is what this is about. Let's get ahead.
Well,
Hmm.
as an example, before if you was starting your business, when
Hmm.
people came to me, like my regular customers, this is outside of my brother's spot. Um, so a lot of people will come to me for a website, and they don't have a logo yet. They don't have none of this stuff, right? And a logo would cost you anywhere between $50 to $200, right? Depending on the complexity of your logo. So nowadays, you can literally call me today and tell me, "Oh, you need a logo? Okay, well, give me 20 minutes." You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And you can
for
say,
real.
can you give me 5 different types of logo? This is what I'm doing. This is the idea that I have, and then literally, your logo is done, right? And
Yeah. Hmm.
possibly for free, depending on what platform you're using, right? You know.
Hmm.
So it makes it really, really way more simple to get started. Like a slogan. Sometimes you hear slogans and you're like, "Oh man, that's really catchy. I like that," right? But
Hmm.
sometimes, some people they got the spark. You know what I mean? Like they come up with the idea on the fly, but most people don't, right? Most people don't. It'll take you weeks to come up with a good enough logo, right? I mean, a slogan, right?
Hmm.
So now, you can get inspired. You can go on ChatGPT or, Gemini and get ideas run by you, and it helps you to, come up with something, right? And that could be done on the spot. So if you need to know, you need a slogan for your business right now, then you could probably get a slogan for your business next 10, 15 minutes. So honestly, I don't think that, there's any more excuse at this point, right? If you
Right.
just got laid off recently and stuff like that because of
Hmm.
AI, or you hate AI and you're like, this is, the devil and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Because some people are saying that, right? Okay.
Hmm.
Um, you know, don't look at it this way, because uh, it's so much opportunity. It's not negativity. It's really opportunity, because whatever you were doing before, you can do so much more and so much better now. You know, and we're still at the very beginning of of this this process we're going through, because it is disruptive. It's definitely disruptive. But whenever there's disruption, there's plenty of opportunity. Look at 2008. 2008, there's 10 million people lost their homes in 2008. But how many millionaires came out of that crisis? People who got into real estate investing, people who got to Airbnb. Myself, I was one of the first hosts on Airbnb in 2009. You know what I mean? And
How much do you think you made off that, Willie?
I'm not
Just
going to
being
say.
first.
I'm not going to say, but it was really good. And when I see people get to Airbnb now, I'm like cringing, because I stopped Airbnb in like 2018, right?
Right.
Because in 2018, I was like, okay, so things are getting too interesting right now. You know what I mean? But in 2010, I will tell you, my first guest that I get. Now, whenever there's a new concept that come out, people are scared. They think a lot of things about it, but they don't, they don't test it, right? So
Right.
if you know what Airbnb stands for, it stands for air, bed, and breakfast.
Yeah.
Okay. So the whole idea at that time was to just have an air bed. It wasn't about having a room and all this stuff. You just need an air bed. So guess what? I went to Walmart and I bought an air bed, and it was a fancy air bed. It had a headboard.
Mm.
Like,
What? An
yeah,
airbed had a headboard?
yeah, it was like $100. you know,
Damn.
yeah, and
What?
I was renting my living room for
Mm.
$26 a day. Okay.
Wow.
And my first guest, I will never forget them. It was the weirdest couple ever. So it was a dude in his 50s, and he was supposed to be a comedian, but he was really not funny, right?
Right.
And he was with a young girl in her early 20s, and she
Mm.
don't smile, right?
Oh God.
And
He
so
never could make her laugh.
listen, I don't know what the deal was, but they come at my door. I open the door, and then I got this blowed up, big ass, you know, luxury style air bed and breakfast. I
Right.
got this air bed like in my living room, and I'm like, yeah, so this is the bed, right?
Right.
You know what I
That's
mean?
crazy.
Yeah, and they were there 3 days, because the dude was there because he was going to a comedy show or something like that. I didn't really see them, and
Mm-hmm.
it was weird as hell, because I was in my bedroom. I was like, yo, man, I got some people in my living room right now, But that was just, it was something different. But look, now it's no big deal to have somebody sleeping on your couch that you don't know.
Right.
I mean, for some people, it may still be, but nowadays in 2025, we've gone through that whole experience, couch surfing, Airbnb,
Right.
and those other things, and it's not
Uber.
strange.
People in
It's
your car. Uber.
right. People in your car,
Yeah.
Uber. That's right. You know what? Uber. That's something really interesting, because I was also one of the first person to get on Uber way back, like way back,
Mm.
2010. I had Uber, and
Damn.
back then they
Damn.
had black SUV. For some reason,
Right.
most of the Uber drivers drove black SUVs, and then when you go on a date, right?
Mm-hmm.
You come out the date and you just like, and they're like, "Where's your car?" It's like, "Don't worry about it." I got somebody gonna come pick me up.
Right.
and
Hey,
then
you okay? You
and
were
then
stalling and wilding
The
like
black
that, bro.
Escalade pull up, right? You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then it's just like, okay, let's get in, let's go, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then go to the next spot, and it's like, who? You know the driver? No, look, man, this
Yeah, I
is
don't even know the driver.
yeah, man, this is my limo connection,
She
man. Don't
couldn't.
worry
She
about
didn't even get it. She didn't even get it because she didn't even understand
it.
Uber.
So all these
Yeah.
concepts are new. So when it's new, people are just like, they're afraid. I still remember cab drivers, when I first moved to Toronto, cab drivers were really mad at Uber drivers, and they
Yeah.
used to protest on the street. You know what I mean? And they would
Yeah.
see like a Uber driver, and they would like corner the Uber driver. And they're trying to fight the Uber driver. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So whenever
They didn't.
something
I got on it early too, Willie. They didn't try to fight me in L.A. It was one motherfucker. He did spit on my windshield. You
there
know
was
what
a
I'm
lot of
saying?
tensions between
Yeah, it
cab
was
drivers
tension.
and Uber drivers,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
And people are saying a lot of bad things about
Yeah.
about Uber. You know what I mean? A lot of
Mhm.
really a lot of bad things, right?
Mhm.
So whenever there's new technology that come in or new systems,
Mhm.
it's not always embraced, right? So with AI, all that is that, hey, I might lose my job to AI, right? Hey,
Mhm.
I might not do, but the thing is, we will all adjust. But right now is the best time to get in on it because um, it's just getting started. You still can, you at the ground level still. You know what I mean? So you can learn. You can start a business. 'Cause it's so much easier to start a business. So 5 years
Mhm.
from now, you're a master at this, right?
Exactly.
Because it takes 3 to 5 years. You know what I'm saying, to go from knowing nothing to knowing everything. 3 to
Exactly.
5. So
Get in at the beginning of my brother's spot. Get your opportunity. I don't know if Marlon is in the house, but he's my friend in Los Angeles. He has his own limo business,
right.
and he's been doing. He has his website and everything. Evergreen, if he is on here, I don't know if he made it yet. But yeah, man, Marley Marr is doing it, and he was ahead of his time because he had his own website. Just
Hmm.
like Moon, she had her own website.
Yeah.
Just like just like Davita, she has her own website. These are things that we have to do in order to be seen. This is the new deal. Like commercial spaces, whoever's trying to get a commercial space, you're really overspending and overextending yourself. That's just my theory. If you're 100% online, it's like, yo, you getting like at the most 60% of your, how do you say it, Willie?
6% of what, of your, yeah, what, traffic?
Okay, so stores, I did this with AI. Storefronts, they get 30% at the highest of how
Oh,
much
you're
they
talking
can
about
make
profit
with their
margin.
cost.
Profit margin.
Yeah,
The
profit
profit
margin.
margin is a lot higher because obviously you don't have rent to pay.
Right.
I mean, you do have to pay something. 'Cause it's not free to be in business, but rent, can be a lot of money. I mean, it depends on where you are.
Mhm.
Um, I know I was watching, I'm listening to um, this podcast yesterday, and they
Mhm.
were talking about the rise of rent, and it's a global phenomenon. It's not just Atlanta, it's not just Toronto, it's a global phenomenon. And they were saying basically across the world, whether it's a business or for people, it's like the rent is just doubling and tripling. There was a guy that interviewed. He's living in Dakar, Senegal, and his
Mhm.
rent went up 10 times. In 10 years. So what I mean 10 times is like 10x. Like his rent is 10 times higher than it was 10 years ago. You
In
know,
Senegal.
it's in Dakar, Senegal, and the guy was just like, "Look, man, I'm gonna have to move out of this city and just go to a smaller city." So, what he was paying in rent right now was 300 US dollars, whereas 10 years ago, you used to pay 30 US dollars, right? Now, on that scale, to you and me, it's probably, oh, it's cheap, it's 300 US dollars. But we're dealing with the same thing here because, I remember in Atlanta, this is 2009, 2010. I mean, you could get a one-bedroom apartment in Atlanta for $500 a month,
Damn.
all day, every day, all day, every day, unless you want to leave real nice bucket, whatever. But the whole Atlanta area, $500 one bedroom all day. You know what I mean?
Willie, when
Uh,
I got back to LA and really established myself in my second apartment,
yeah,
this was 2003 when I came back from Brazil and Colombia.
yeah,
Man, it was 650 for a studio, and my bed came out the wall
yeah,
in Hartong, California. And I thought that was like stupid cheap. And it
yeah.
was all utilities paid. It was like the bombest spot.
Yeah. And nowadays, I mean, I was really surprised because, I don't live in Atlanta anymore. I live in Toronto where, everything has always been expensive, but just now it just didn't even make any sense. But
Mhm.
people telling me, oh, they got apartments in Atlanta for 2,000. I'm like, okay, whatever, man. Cause I mean, you had to look hard back in the day to find a $2,000 apartment in Atlanta. I
And
mean, a house, yeah, you know what I mean? Cause yeah, I used to pay like probably around like 1,600, and I lived in Alpharetta in a pretty big house,
mm,
and everybody thought like I'm paying so much, right? They're like,
mm,
what, 1,600? Like, it's like
mm,
20 years ago, man.
mm,
So, so things have changed because right now, if I'm just paying 1,600, I mean, I can pay that in my sleep, right? You
right,
know what I'm saying?
right,
But
right.
then that doesn't exist anymore, right?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
so
Unfortunately.
so that's
Now, now, Willie, check this out. I got some more of my questions for you, brother.
yeah.
Can AI tools help with personalized marketing for niche audiences?
Well, it's especially good for niche audiences because it helps you to determine, or it helps you to narrow down how you're going to corner that small group of people that will be your customers. So for example, if you have an e-commerce store and you just sell hats, for example, you know what I mean. um, so there are a bunch of uh, uh, there's what you call keyword research. There are some tools out
Mhm,
there, that can do it now really good with the help of AI to find out where your customers are, right? Because before, if
mhm,
you sell hats, right, where do you find your hat client? Like, or maybe you sell. I remember at some point there was people selling jerseys from the black leagues, the old school baseball black leagues, right? That's kind
mhm.
of like a niche, right? And some people looking for that. Where do you find these people?
Yeah.
Right. So keyword research allow you to basically, kind of pinpoint where you can find them. So before, what I would need to do is I would need to come up with some ideas of where I can find them, right? And I will narrow down these ideas, but this will be done all manually. I will go on Google, I will do searches, I will see if there's a guy who does what I'm doing, and if he's doing something similar. You know what I mean?
Mhm,
So it would take a long time. Whereas now, um, one of the tool I use SEMrush. And by the way, I'm not afraid to tell you what I use because
mhm,
like you could Google and find out about it yourself. There's another one, Ahrefs, but I like SEMrush, right?
mhm,
You could just go and put your domain name,
mhm,
and it'll tell you where your customers are, what they're
mhm,
searching for. You put your domain name, couple of information. This is what I'm doing, and then you know it tells you. Now, ChatGPT does that as well. It's just
mhm,
SEMrush is more like tailored for that, right? Um, but you can use AI definitely to get to know who your customers are, where they are in the process of wanting to buy your items. So if I'm looking for, a hat or a jersey, from that league, the Negro leagues, right?
mhm.
Um, I'm probably gonna go on Google and I'm gonna type that, right? Negro league jerseys, that kind of stuff, right? Okay, and there, I mean, that one is a kind of a keyword that everybody would kind of can come up with, but there's a bunch of keywords that would be like really, even smaller niche where you will find people that are you know, ready to buy. We call those transactional keywords where, you know, um, they type that, they get there, they literally have the credit cards ready to go, right?
Exactly, on the search engines. And Willie, check this out. And thank you, Miss Gomes, for the props. I appreciate you, Annette. Now check this out. What like how many keywords can you and your team get someone like Annette? She has a website as well, like to where she could rank even more and people see her website about voice, like her she does voiceovers, interviews, all that. She's very talented. She was a newscaster also. What can you
So
do like
yeah,
that?
so I mean, with keywords and stuff like that, it's not a number. It depends on what it is that you're doing. Okay,
Okay.
but it's about knowing the people that are looking for what you offer, what are their how they're searching for you essentially. That's what you want to find out, right? Where are they going to find you? So for example, right, let's assume that I've never been to Atlanta, right, and I land in Atlanta and I want a black dentist. Like I need to get to Atlanta. I need to get a cleaning done, right, while I'm in Atlanta. If I've never been to Atlanta, what am I gonna do? Right? I'm probably gonna type maybe like a dentist near me or black dentist or whatever, something like that,
Right.
right? Okay. But the thing is, that one is obvious, but there are a lot of other keywords that are not so obvious that will drive you the clients that you are looking for. Okay. So, and that list of keyword is called, keyword research. You go and find out, what are all these keywords. Now, some niche may have 1,000 keywords. Some other niche may have, 100 keywords. Depends, right?
Mm.
However, you cannot have a list of keyword and go after that list of keyword on one website just because it's almost like the way things are set up. You want to have a variety, of keywords that leads the different people to you. So I just give you an example, right?
Okay.
So a black dentist that is looking to rank and is looking to basically people who are specifically looking for a black dentist to be found, one of the first thing he can do is to add his dental business to a black owned business directory, right?
Mm.
Okay. Because someone who is looking for black dentists might also be looking for a black owned directory because they probably know they can find a dentist on there, right? Also, you want to do maybe interviews, right? Or with podcasters. But when you talk with the podcasters, you might not be a, hey, I'm the dentist, the black dentist from Atlanta. No, you're probably going to talk about different things, right? It could be uh, um, about the sports that you like. It could be like basketball. You like basketball, you could go out and talk about basketball. And the podcast is going to be like, hey, this black dentist loves basketball, right?
Mm. Right.
I know it's like kind of, but it's a mix, right? But
Mm.
all that drives different people
Mm.
because it will register different keywords
And
for
it'll make you be seen more. That's what you're saying.
be seen more. And then the most
Mm.
powerful is blogging, actually. Blogging
Mm.
content is really powerful. And there's something that's even more powerful that's called guest blogging, right? So you can look at it this way, right? What other business can the black dentist partner with that will drive business to them,
Mm.
right? Some
Mhm.
people sometimes, they really think hard, but it's not, you don't have to go that far, right?
Mm.
So, for example, a massage therapist might be a good referral source of a dentist
Mm. Why
because
is that?
if you take care of yourself and you go and get a massage, you probably, do regular cleanings, or maybe you have benefits of your job or something, right? Use your benefits for massage, and then, and we talk about regular massage, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, not that one.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we not.
So yeah, so the thing is, what they can do, a dentist can talk about, they can go on the massage therapist blog and write a blog, to maybe talk about, dental hygiene and how, and then draw some comparisons to uh keeping your body, you know, I don't know, in good
The
shape or
blood
something.
flow. Right. The
Right.
blood flow, skin
So
care.
so what
Hmm.
happens now is you got a bunch of people who actually probably get massage on a regular basis, but now they know that you do dental work, right?
Wow. I get
Um,
what you're saying.
so you get a variety of places, and every time you have a new way to market yourself, which is not so obvious, it's not so obvious as come and see me, right? Um, that generates new keywords,
Mm,
and that
mm.
generates keywords and that generate niches that people don't really think upfront about. You know what I mean? Like obviously,
So that's why. So that's why you and your team give 3 blogs a year for whoever customize get a customized website. Um, Customized website. You get a customized website or a subscription website. You will give them 3 blogs to help their visibility.
it to help their visibility, but in a way, we are guest blogging because in that blog there will probably be links to their website, right? So those links to their website is also a backlink for My Brother Spot, right? And vice versa. They can write a blog on their platform as well,
Okay.
and mention different people. So, for example, go back to the dentist, right? So the dentist write a blog, and he can write a blog about the neighborhood he lives in. Not even nothing about dental work. So let's say he's in College Park, Georgia, right? So he's going to
Hmm.
talk about, you know, uh, College Park. He has his office in College Park. He loves College Park because whatever reason, right? He loves the little main street downtown College Park. He loves to be near the airport. I don't know what else, I can say. But, you know, but essentially, you know, when he talks about all these other things, he can use that opportunity to mention other business owners in the neighborhood. So he can say, for example, my favorite bakery is, on Camp Creek, right? And then
Hmm.
he's going to mention the bakery, maybe the name of the owner, and you tell the owner, listen, I'm going to mention you. So you're going to have some people, coming to your shop, right, to get, bread or whatever. So that's one backlink, right? But he can mention 4 or 5, and you say, hey, listen, since I'm mentioning you, do me a favor and mention us to your clients. So that's backlinks that you are picking up. Now Google, and I'm going to mention Google mainly, but all search engines and now AI engines, they all do the same thing. So if you go on Google and you say, I'm the best dentist in Atlanta, right? Okay.
Hmm.
Everybody can say that. But how do I know you're the best dentist, right? Well, this is what Google does is that, okay, so if you're the best dentist and two people tell me you're the best dentist, I might believe you guys, but that's only two people. And that's what backlinks are. Backlinks basically back up what I'm saying. So if I have 100 people who are basically referring people to me, that indicates to Google that you have some authority. You might really be the best dentist in town.
Hmm.
See, so
Hmm.
that's why you don't want to be an island. You want to be, you know,
But really not the best dentist. But you're on that front page, that first page of Google.
well, that's what will get you to the first page of Google. Some of that stuff, a lot of backlinks, and
Some of it.
some other factors, but that will get you there. So
Okay.
and there are tons of AI tools that help you plan, some of the things that I'm talking about right now.
Okay. Okay. How does AI support smarter decisions making without expensive consultants?
Well, I think right now, ChatGPT and Gemini are probably number one consultants in the world.
Damn.
Because how many times have you asked questions? You know, it's so funny. I was talking to this guy earlier today, and he was telling me he has a backache, right? Okay,
Hmm.
and he said, "Oh, I think my back is deteriorating." Right? Okay,
Hmm.
and I'm like, "What do you mean your back is deteriorating? Like, come on, like, what do you like? You're not that old, right?
Right.
And then while I'm talking to him, this dude is literally typing. I guess he was using ChatGPT, and he was like, you know, what are the causes of your back deteriorating or whatever, right? And
Hmm.
then and then he didn't know how to spell deteriorating, so he asked me, right? And I was like, well, why don't you ask ChatGPT?
I know. And chat. And what's crazy? It's not. They're not
He
even.
didn't know how
It's
to
not
spell.
even
He
human.
didn't know how to spell deteriorate.
And Willie, they're not even, it's no humans. That's what's weird about this shit.
Yeah.
And it's the best consultants. It's just, it's crazy.
Oh yeah. I mean, you can basically, get uh, so much advice. You know, I wouldn't take 100% of the advice exactly like to the T. Because
Right.
again, like you cannot use AI and stop using your brain, right?
Mm,
You have to think about what ChatGPT is telling you, and and double check it, right? Don't take it for face value, right? Double
mm,
check it or check with a real person. It'll put you on the right track, but check with a real person, because really don't take exactly what they say and then because as much as I love the technology, um, it's humans behind it, right? So humans are biased, right? And the bias
mhm.
goes through the robots or or the systems, so it might
Even
still.
through, even through books.
Yeah, yeah, of course, but now it's living
Yeah,
like taking a
that
different
was
life of its own, right?
on a whole different level now, right?
Yeah, yeah. So it'll take you down the wrong path on purpose, right?
Hmm.
So who
Yep.
knows, right? But
Can check this out, Will. Can AI level the playing field against bigger competitors? What do you think?
oh, that's the biggest thing that it can do, because
Mm,
actually earlier when we were speaking, I was talking about how easy it is to start a business, right? Okay, the larger companies, the big companies, everybody think the big companies have so much resources, so much money, whatever. The bigger a company get, the harder it is for them to move forward with all these technologies, right?
damn.
Because for them to implement anything, you heard the phrase, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? So
Mhm.
companies don't do nothing new unless it's broke. Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah.
So it'd
So
be like too late.
that's right. So I would tell you some, for example, if some of the people that are watching right now, if you have ever worked for a large phone company or a large bank, usually their technology is like 10, 15 years behind, you know,
Oh shit.
um, because why would you implement a new system? Now you have to train 4,000 people on
Right.
how to use the new system, and people, they just like that we're, a, a creature of habit, right? We get to work, we've been partying all weekend, we press the blue button, then the red screen pop up, like we know it, you know what I mean? So if
Mm.
now I'm coming on Monday and it's like, you know, that doesn't work. It's a new
Yeah,
system.
you know what? That's crazy because I'm remembering what you told me about some of your clients and how you and your tech team basically had to go in, like big clients, and had to go in and really catch them up. So damn, that's
Yeah,
real.
like larger companies is a lot harder. It costs them more money too, and production about productivity.
Right.
If you have 1,000 of your employees that cannot keep up for
Mm,
whatever reason, okay, they cannot learn the new system, whatever, that will cost you, the business, money. You see what I'm
mhm,
saying?
mhm.
Because until those 1,000 employees can actually master the new system, you're losing money, right?
Wow.
So big companies don't take the chance, but you, as a startup of a small
Mhm,
company, you're flexible. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
You can test new things. You can, that new technology that's there. So you're gonna get ahead of the curve. Larger businesses cannot compete with you,
mm,
And then sometimes when we think about larger business, I mentioned banks and phone companies, but if you're a plumber and you have 10 vans, right? And you've been doing it for 20 years, so you're probably like 40, 50 years old right now, right? And you're busy all the time. You don't have time to learn AI.
mm.
And you don't have time to stop and and you
Because
know
that system is continual.
it's working. You have your client every day, the vans are
Right.
out, you know what I mean? So for the new plumber that's coming out, he has
Mm,
an opportunity to, because to start his niche. His niche would be basically maybe new homeowners who are younger, who are more familiar with new technology. Okay, they're probably not going to pick up the phone and call the plumber, and then somebody's hitting something in the back. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
And the plumber
mm.
is like, yeah, that'll be $150.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? New people, they don't like to do that. They like to get on their phone. You know what I'm saying? Press some button, couple of things, and boom, plumber is on the way. Right?
Exactly.
Right. So the new startup company has an opportunity to set that system up. Right?
Mm,
And eventually, the older businessman will eventually either retire or he will slowly lose clients because some of them will die because they're older as well. You know what I mean? And that gives an opportunity for the new business to establish themselves, right?
mm,
Yeah.
mm. So, how can AI improve day-to-day business operations?
Well, you know, again, like
Mm,
day-to-day operations is, for example, um, answering the phone for your clients, bookkeeping. Maybe if you have a product that you're selling on e-commerce website, it's going through, the orders that came in, shipping it. Um, there are a bunch of systems that streamlines that process. Whereas before it was a lot more manual work. Right now,
mhm,
if I put it on a different scale, Amazon, for example,
mhm,
um, when you press a button that you're buying a product on Amazon.com, okay, as soon as you press tap, there are already some robots in the Amazon warehouse that are on the way to pick up the item that you just ordered. No human
right,
intervention. Okay,
right,
so they're taking
mm,
advantage of that, right? Because how can you compete with that? You could be buying stuff at 2 in the morning, you know, and nowadays with Amazon, you can buy it at 2 in the morning, and when you get up around 7 or 8 in the morning, your product is at the door.
mm,
You see what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah.
So it's really crazy like that. But they're using technology and advantages to make their operation smoother and stuff like
Walmart is trying to catch up to that, though, man.
that. Walmart is making a lot of strides. But when
Yeah.
you talk about a smaller business, you can do the same thing because, like I was saying earlier, when you have a small business, you're just getting started. You're going to be the lawyer. Unfortunately, you have to have some agreements that your clients are going to sign to protect your
Mhm,
business, right? I mean, if you don't, you're going to find out, right? Okay. And now I remember back in the days when I was getting started in business, I had a friend of mine. He went to law school and he had just finished law school, lives in Atlanta,
mhm,
and
mhm,
I went to him and I said, "Hey man, can you write me an agreement? Because since he was a friend of mine, I'm thinking maybe a couple $100, right?
mhm. Exactly,
So
exactly.
he
But
was like, well, when I write that agreement, if you get sued, I have to protect you, and it's all
mhm,
included. It's all included in the agreement I write for you because I write the agreement so that you don't get sued. But to give you that guarantee, I still have to put in the time possibly in case I get sued. So that being said, since you're my friend, I'll do it for $5,000.
mhm.
You
I
know what
know,
I
I
mean?
know. Yeah.
So I was just like, okay, all right, cool. Well, hey man, what you doing on Friday? I get you a beer, whatever. But like that still doesn't work. You still can't get it for less than $5,000.
Exactly. Yeah.
But nowadays, you can, I mean, I'm saying this, I can't, recommend this because it is really important to have, legal professionals to overlook your documents and stuff like that. But if you're just getting started, and you need to have something, you can definitely have ChatGPT write an agreement for you. Like
Wow. Wow.
definitely, right? You can have accounting. There's accounting done by AI now. If any accountant is watching this right now, they're probably cringing or punching the air, right?
Man on the wheels.
you know,
Yeah.
I'm saying like don't trust AI completely. Still run it by an accountant, a lawyer, whatever. But there's a lot that you can use to get your business started and cost is going to be much lower, right? Um, and you know, even if you want to start a corporation, for example, right, you have to go to a business lawyer. Back in the days, it'll cost you about $1,000 to start a corporation with a lawyer. That's on the low end, you know,
Mhm.
because it could be 2,000, 3,000, but $1,000 on the low end, right?
Mhm.
Um, Nowadays, and then for $1,000, basically it was coming along with advice because you could get your own corporation for like $100, right? But
Right.
what are you gonna get? You don't know what corporation, C corp, S corp, LLC. You know, there's all this stuff, right? What are you gonna do? So for $1,000, you have a business lawyer that basically tells you, hey, listen, you should do this, because that. They find out a little bit about your business, what you're trying to accomplish. Then you pay $1,000, you get it. Now you have, Gemini, and you press the side button on your phone, and Gemini can give you really good advice on which way to
Mhm.
go and exactly how to do it. And it'll cost you $150, $200, whatever it costs now for a corporation.
And
Um,
that's extremely cheap. That's
so you save $800 to $1,000, something like that, right? For
mhm.
something like that, right? So So yeah, I mean, it makes it a lot easier to streamline all of these things, even to help you set up the structure of your business, and even to find out what your competition is doing, what's the recommendation for different stuff. So yeah.
That's very interesting. Very,
Mm.
very extremely interesting the way you put that. And I like the way you always put that. Don't be afraid of AI. Utilize AI because all it is just a reconfiguration of just the capitalism, basically.
Yeah.
So world capitalism, right? To
Yeah.
now, we're gonna be the boss with the mom and pop digital platforms instead of really everyone working for someone a 9 to 5. So, and I understand, Willie, why they're doing it because like employees really cost a lot, like very expensive to
I
have.
mean, yeah, employees cost a lot. I mean, business in general costs a lot. But I would tell you, in 2022, when I used ChatGPT for the first time, I used it for like half an hour. And I'll kid you not, you know, I, after using it for half an hour, and it wasn't that good that time. It's ChatGPT 1.0. So I finished using it, man. I took a lap around my house, man. I was so
What?
freaking happy because I was like, man, this is going to
Damn.
be the game. You know what I'm saying? This is going to be a change the game, and I
And how
knew
many months ago was this? Or 2 years or 1 year?
this is January 2022.
Oh, yeah, you were ahead of your time. That's
hmm
man.
So that time I was just like, yeah, this is going to be it, man. Like this is going to change the game. So I was working on it day and night. I want to know everything, and obviously it improved a whole lot. There's so much more you can do. I mean, you know, my reaction to the first time I used ChatGPT versus 2 weeks ago when I tried ChatGPT 5, it was a lot different because ChatGPT 5 is scary, right? I
Mm,
mean, it does my job. You know what I'm saying? It's
mm,
pretty good, right?
mm.
So obviously, it's a tool. It's a tool, so you also have to know how to use it, right? So you can do a lot with that, but you know you have to know how to use it, and this is why I feel like right now it's a good time because you can still it's still at the ground level, even though we are where we are, right?
And
I
it's
mean,
already smart as hell.
2025 has been a very, very, very different year on the web, like in the internet, right?
Mm,
Because those platforms have changed so much, like Gemini, between Gemini and ChatGPT and Copilot, and those and bunch of other systems. It's been so different, like it moving so quick, right?
mm.
So definitely, it's something that um, you still have time to get on it 'cause it's just getting started, right?
Right, and being uncomfortable too, because family. I'm gonna be straight up. I'm extremely uncomfortable when me and Willie like was starting to work together more, and I'm still uncomfortable, but my wisdom is getting greater and greater, and I really appreciate Willie for mentoring me. Willie is younger than me, but he's mentoring me, and I feel that's how we have to be as a people. Um, we have to be humble and willing to learn something to where we could adjust because we have to pay our bills, and then also we have to raise kids. You know, I don't have any kids. Willie doesn't have any kids, but still we have to pay bills, and we have to live in this on this planet that, you know, under men that are very greedy. Like all over the world, they're greedy, and they really, I feel we should be running around here just eating fruits and vegetables, fruits coming off the trees and being natural. But that's just not the way it is now because of man. So yeah, yeah, Willie Will, man, you my man. I appreciate you. You always got my back, brother. And I got another question. I got
Yeah.
another one for you. I got
Okay.
another one because I be tripping
Please
off how
day.
you
Please
keep
day.
them freezing. I want you to get stuck. That's why I'm
Yeah.
looking. I'm looking it off. Like, how can I get this? How can I get Willie stuck? So, all right.
Yeah. Maybe it might be the one, man.
How does AI help businesses adapt to changing market conditions?
Well, I mean, the thing is, um, 2025 has been changing like crazy, like I was mentioning, right? You know,
Hmm.
and and for example, if you um, what we talked about earlier about blogging, you know, now saying, hey, you can use AI and you can blog and you can put so much content in and you know it's going to bring traffic and stuff like that. Well, a lot of people are catching up to that, right? Okay. And AI is moving forward. So for example, ChatGPT just came out 2 weeks ago. Well, guess
Hmm.
what? I've been on it. I've been trying to learn it. Remember I called you 2 weeks ago and I'm like, listen, I can do all these new things, blah blah blah, because I'm sitting here and I'm learning it. And you know, and really what you have to do is to learn and to be open-minded, right? Okay.
Hmm.
That's how you can basically catch up, because guess what, there's a bunch of people like me that are on this stuff soon as it happens, right? You know,
Hmm.
today the new iPhone came out and iPhone, you know, they mention all these things that they're looking to do. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So guess what? I'm buying a phone so I can, because well, I'm not telling you guys you have to go and buy a phone to learn, but because I built sites for people and there's all these different devices, I keep up with the devices so I can know, you know, what advantages I can use to you know to offer my clients right in the future. But with AI there's a lot of free options. I mean, not so much anymore. You can pay $20, $30, but you can get only you can learn, right? You can learn so many things. Now, you know, I'm not scared to tell you, you know, I mean, ChatGPT 5 codes, right? So if you've
Hmm.
had, you know, you were always scared to learn how to code and that's that kind of stuff. But that's out the way because it knows how to code, right? Now, obviously, you need to know, you know, there's a learning curve, but um, the learning curve is smaller because before you had to actually learn how to code. Now you just have to know what to do with the code. So that learning to code is out the way because AI can't do that, right?
Right.
Um, you know, it knows how to do a lot of other stuff, right? So if you want to stay with the times, all you really got to know is to know how to talk to AI and how to write prompts and that kind of stuff, right? So I would say that's what you will have to do to keep up, right?
Hmm.
But also keeping up, you can't keep up if you're not in the race, right?
Right.
So you have to first of all be in business, right? You can't keep
Right.
up on the sidelines. You have to be in the game, right? You know, so that's the first thing they should do before everything else that I mentioned. They should be in the game. They should get their business started. For black owned business, for me, is really important, right? Because we, I mean, we have a lot of entrepreneurs in our community. But a lot of the entrepreneurs in our community never validate themselves. They never become real businesses.
Hmm.
They just stay hustlers, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And there is money out here for everybody who wants to become an entrepreneur, because not everybody can become an entrepreneur for
Right.
multiple reasons. But for the people who can, legitimate yourself, go and get incorporated. Okay, you have AI, find out, you know, um, what it takes to take that step. You know, you don't have to go to no conference now. You got it in your phone. You get the answer in 5 minutes, right? You know, legitimize your business. Go and get a domain. You know, get a website. If you don't know what to do with that, we can definitely help you with that. You go on mybrothasspot.com, and then you can see what we do for businesses, right?
Yep.
Um, so just do that, and then you will see that everything else will line up. You know, um, we are building a community so we can help each other, um, by sharing knowledge. This is why we are doing what we are doing right now. Okay. This is why I'm telling you that you can code, even though I am a coder, right? Why would I
Now
say that?
is that disrupting you? Let's give that. I was waiting for you to do that. Say that. Is that
Yeah.
disrupting you? And
Well,
how are you pivoting for it to become a tool for you? Hmm.
well, it's not disrupting me, and here's why. Okay, a lot of people are scared for their jobs and stuff like that. I'm not, because I'm going to be the best at what I do. Okay, that's just my mentality. I'm gonna wake up in the morning, and is there something new? I'm gonna be the best at doing that new thing. Okay, so it's gonna disrupt people that are in my industry, right? For sure.
Mm.
Okay, um, and but for me, I'm a systems person. Remember, I told you that. You know, I'm a system person. I see, the opportunity, and I create a system, right?
Mhm,
And
mhm.
why do I create a system? Because I can, then scale very quickly. So if I understand what this particular tool can do for my business, I understand the tool, I study the tool, then I know how I can use the tool to make money or move forward, right? So, someone who's basically can press a button and create a website, that's not a threat, because that's not a system. You
Mm.
see what I'm saying? That's not, I mean, to marketplaces, we talked about that, and some of the things that I do, I'm not afraid to say this is what I'm doing. And as a community, we have to be more like this, because, there are some communities where, for example, Persians, for 5,000,
Mm.
where do you get a good rug? In Turkey. I mean, you know, um, I was going to say in Persia, but you know what I'm
No,
saying.
that's no,
But, but,
brother.
but in Turkey, they're so good at business. They've been doing it for 5,000 years, and you know what I mean.
Mm.
There's no doubt this is what, like they're not going to feel like one day like, okay, I'm scared of this particular country. No, they've been doing it. They've been doing it. They're very good at what they do, right? And nowadays you have people flying all over the world to Turkey to get surgeries, right? While people
Get their teeth done. Get the little booty booty.
Right. Well, people going to Turkey, there's like 191 countries, right? So, if you're good at what you do, if you're not scared to work hard, you know what I'm saying, to be the
Right.
best at what you do, then it doesn't matter what technology is out here. You're still not gonna make it. You see what I'm saying? So,
Because systems always win, not talent. We're extremely talented as a people. Black people, Aboriginal Americans, Hebrew Israelite, whatever you resonate with, family. Okay?
yeah,
We are talented, but we are horrible with unity, unifying because of religion, whatever. We be set tripping like gangbangers. We need a universal system so we can protect ourselves. The less money you have, you can't defend yourself, family. It's just the
and,
way
and
of the world.
and also, that's why I'm sharing this knowledge, because the more people who look like me have access to the information that I know, right? You
Mm.
would think that's a threat for me. No, because that makes us stronger as a community, right? Because the things that I can do, imagine if there's 1,000 people that can do the same thing, right? Then where are we going to be as a community then, right? You know, so that's the part where for me, I do the things that I'm doing because I don't have to do the things that I'm doing, right?
Yeah.
Um, I could just make my money and live my life and not worry about anything else, right? Um, you know, so um, so that's why I'm sharing this, right? Because it makes us stronger. That's why we work with My Brothas Spot. We work as volunteers. We don't even get paid for that. There's something that we do. As a matter of fact, not only we work as volunteers, but me personally, I invest in some of this stuff because I just want to see it moving forward, right? And I could do a lot of different things with the money. I love cars. I could buy another car. you know.
Have them in your garage,
Yeah.
tending to. Yeah, I feel you.
So, but it's not about. It's about being able to have uh, to compete.
Right.
And to have much more. Now, a lot of people don't know this, right? Okay, so black people right now are 31% poorer than in the 60s.
Yeah.
Now, you got a lot of black people with a lot of money. I'm
Yeah.
not discounting it because every time I say stuff like that, it's like, well, there's black people with money. Oh, there's black people that can quote. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about the community, right? Um, we're not making that much money anymore as a group of people. Now, if you think about black people and where they work, right? They work, and this is going to be stereotypical, right? Sorry, but
Okay.
yeah, but you have a lot of nurses. Okay, we have a lot of people work for the U.S. government. We have people that work at the post office. I mean, we know where black folks work. Okay,
Mm.
but where black people are working right now, those jobs might not exist. Like most of the jobs that will be deleted very soon are jobs that
And
black
we're
people.
not picking on nobody. We just fucking care.
So what happens
Yeah.
in the community when those jobs no longer valid? How many people got laid off from the U.S. government in the past 6 months? Everybody's
I know.
talking about Trump. This Trump that. It's not really Trump. It's the times. Like it's 2025. We're going into 2026. I was just talking about the last live. I attended a conference where they're talk. They demo uh, a robot washing dishes and cooking, right? You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, times are changing. We have to keep up with that, right? So we can't stay in the exact same way as things that we used to do. You know what I mean? Um, 100 years ago, a lot of black people wear shining shoes.
Yep.
Imagine if we all stayed in that business. Oh, that's a good business. You can shine shoes, make money or whatever, and but times change. If you start a shining shoe business today, I don't know. First of all, nobody wears those type of shoes nowadays. It's the Jordans and stuff like
Not in abundance.
that.
Right.
Right. Don't get me wrong. There's a niche out there probably for that, right? But
But it's not enough to make a living
times
off of.
change. Like the way that people make money 100 years ago, you can't make money like that now, or maybe you can. Maybe it's coming back. I don't know, right?
Yeah.
Um, you know,
Uh,
but for example, DJs, man. Look, I don't know how long DJ is gonna be in existence, man. Cause listen, I have
AI is intrusive,
I have an
man.
app on my phone. Um, I forget what it's called, but basically it connects to my Spotify, right?
Mhm.
And he makes mixes for me, and then it's good. It's so good that sometimes I'm just like, damn, okay, like yeah, like it mixes all. It goes for my music. It knows the moods. It knows the all kinds of stuff, right? It's a DJ app. If I wanted to scratch and everything, it'll do it, right? Um, but it does the transitions. It does all that stuff, right?
Mm.
Yeah. So Yeah, I mean this, like something like DJs. I mean, like 20 years from now, I don't know if there's going to be DJs, or maybe it might be just for nostalgic purposes.
But
you
it's
know,
always going to be some humans, like a human touch,
of
like
course, of course.
the wealthy, like we were talking about it. I mean, they're going to have human nurses instead of robots wiping their ass, but that's
I mean, but things are
very,
changing, man. Nightclubs. I mean, I know, I mean, I'm not really a party person, but I know that, I heard that nightclubs, a lot of nightclubs are going out of business because young people don't go to nightclubs anymore.
you know,
Yeah, they just don't. They're into some other
they're
stuff.
not even going to the strip joints.
Yeah, so they're into some
You
other
got you
stuff.
got you got strippers so desperate, you Uber them like I'm Ubering now, you know what I'm saying? And they hitting on you like a because I'm an old man. They thinking, hey, I could get this old man and get some, money off of
You're
him,
not that old.
and but they're young. Yeah, and I'd be like, yo, I could be your pops, and they in the back like, no, nigga, I I like you. I'm like, no, you don't. Like, leave me alone.
But
This is how bad the world is getting. This is not a bragging right to me. This how bad the world is getting. People need money and opportunities. And what we're doing, we're trying to show you the new opportunities. We're like 3 to 5 years ahead, right, Willie?
oh yeah,
And
definitely,
we're
definitely.
trying to help you get under that because this shit gonna be normal. And then black people, we jump on it when everybody is on it, and then it's too late. It's saturated. Get on this shit. Get you a
I mean,
domain name.
can you
Get
imagine
you
starting?
get you a customized website on My Brothas Spot. Get your fingers in it. Learn it. Master it. Be uncomfortable. Fuck up. That's how you learn. And then you got Wi-Fi like Willie taught me. You could be in fucking Vietnam. You could be in South America where the currency is lower, but where you have Wi-Fi, you can live anywhere for cheap. This is the game,
Yeah,
right, Will?
it is. It is. And you know what? There are some cities in the world that are already, seeing what the future will be like. Like we were talking about Cape Town in South Africa.
Oh man,
Cape Town,
beautiful.
Cape Town is a beautiful place. It's a place where a lot of people who are living off of the internet are moving to because it's a beautiful place. It's a nice place to see, to be, and people from all over the world, they're going there. Vietnam is one of those places,
I
Vietnam,
want to go.
Thailand, you know. Uh, so it's already possible for a lot of people to be free from. I mean, you can make your living literally off of the internet, um, and you can go, where.
In the countries that don't even have violence.
Well, the crazy thing is, Elon Musk has the Starlink, right?
Hmm.
And you can buy
Oh
Starlink,
yeah,
and you can go in the middle of the desert, and you
right,
still have a perfect internet connection,
right.
and you can go anywhere with that. You can go to Siberia, and you know what I mean. You still
You're
in.
right. Even though I hate that motherfucker guts, but that you right, man. I heard that Starling worked well.
Yeah, yeah. So it's really good. So you can go in all these places and still be in business. You know.
Hmm.
So that's the future, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine if I'm calling you and I'm telling you, hey, Jay, listen, man, um, I got a really good idea. I got some land and I'm going to build a drive-in movie. I just need $100,000. You in with me? Yeah, just think about it. People finna drive in with their Teslas so they can watch a movie on. It, I mean, it's old. It
Yeah.
you can't do that anymore. Things have changed.
Right.
So the way that your job is set up right now, okay, well, it's
It's
dying.
old.
It's
Yeah.
old. It's
Yeah.
dying, right? Can you imagine? I still remember. Okay, I bought a CD player when I was a teenager. I must have been 14 or 15. Okay, and I put my CDs in there, and I had to hold I had to hold it like this. It had to be flat because if I put it on the side, it
Right.
stopped working, right?
Couldn't read it.
so,
You couldn't
so
read it.
right. So I would go with my CD player, and I would have that thing horizontal wherever I go. Like it has to
Mm-hmm.
stay horizontal for my music to go, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, nobody can think about that nowadays. Like who can think of that, right? And I still remember when I was 19, 18 or 19, I don't remember. I moved to New York, and I really love my music, right?
For
So
sure.
one of my luggage bag when I moved there was just CDs. Like I had a
Are you
duffel bag,
kidding me?
a
You
duffel
had a
bag.
whole bag of CD?
I took all my CDs with me, right? I mean, nobody
They was
nowadays.
all cracked, the crazy because they be.
Yeah, yeah.
I
And
kind of did that too. That's why I'm
save some
laughing.
space. I put like two, three CDs in the, in the CD,
Yeah,
yeah, box or whatever. So,
right.
um, yeah, I mean, nowadays, think about it, man. If you tell somebody, hey, man, we're gonna like, I hear people saying CDs are coming back. Like, no, it's not
Mm,
coming back. It's not coming back. It's off the past, right? I mean, you
mm.
have a few nostalgic people, okay, that might be I mean,
It's a
nowadays,
niche, just
you know,
like people like albums. Is certain
right,
people that, yeah, it's a niche.
right. It's a really small niche, right?
Yeah.
But same thing, like with like cars. I mean, when last time you saw a car with a cassette deck? You see what I'm saying?
I'm
Now,
not gonna lie. I wish
I
the
would take
the
you back.
cassettes and the CDs came back. I do, but I know
I
it's
would take
not.
you back because that same CD that I had to hold flat, okay, in my car, I had the cassette deck conversion to CD. I don't know if you remember that.
No, I do. I
So you
do.
put the
Because I
cassette
had that. I
inside,
had that in my Cadillac CTS.
and then you have the wire that you
Yeah.
plug the CD, and then I have to set it up so it's like straight.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
Now I get in my car, and my car recognizes my phone, and it
Yeah.
starts playing my favorite music, right?
Yep.
You know what I mean? So that times have changed. So you just have to keep up with that as well.
And you know who's suffering now because they didn't keep up are the artists. They didn't keep up,
Right.
so they tricked them into streaming. And these motherfuckers, like Snoop, had 1 billion streams
Yeah.
on his one of his songs, and the motherfucker got $40,000.
Yeah.
I mean, highway robbery.
I mean, right now
So
to start your own brand, it
right,
doesn't cost as much as people think, right? If you're still gonna rely on the platform as your mentor. Now you can be on Spotify, you can be on all these platforms if you want, but you cannot rely on those platforms.
have your own brand.
You can have your own brand, so that's something that you can do. I mean,
Yeah,
2025.
it may, and Willie, yours may strike the lotto. It may be the one that everyone go to, and you're a fucking billionaire. Real talk.
Yeah, because you get the money, and people pay you subscriptions, or if they buy your music, or however you get set up,
Mhm.
there's no third party.
Right.
There's no middleman. So that money is
Mhm.
100% of your money. Whereas with a stream, they say, okay, listen, we'll take all the money, and then we're gonna give you a couple of pennies per listen or something like that, right? Okay.
Yep.
Um, and then, but don't worry about how much money I make though. Don't do that, right?
Hmm. Right.
So that's how that works.
But
But
the norm could easily be like 100,000, 200,000 if you had your own platform because the world has billions of people, and My Brother's Spot could put you in position to see all these. A lot of the people see you, but it's so many people in the world. They're not. You may not have the same followers that are paying for your subscription platform. So that makes it to where you could have, like I said, 500 to 2,000 people paying $15 a month for your subscription based website where you could be mixing, you could be singing, you could be talking about your life, you could be doing the ice speed. YouTube is breaking them off, but if ice speed had his own platform, he'll be a billionaire instead of a small millionaire.
Yeah,
and working hard as a motherfucker. They're cracking the whip on them. Hey, go here, go there.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. So AI really, gives you the possibility to be successful. And like you say, it doesn't really take that much. It doesn't even take 2,000 people to give you $15. Obviously, that's great. But if you have a product, or whether it be subscription or whatever, if you sell it to 100 people a month, and your product is like, 20, $30. I mean, for a lot of people that matches already their income. This is 100 people. 100 people is not the end of the world on the internet. It's
Right.
not, right? Now for
That's
some,
small.
it's really small, and you can easily have a following of 500,000 people. Obviously, one thing is we like to have things happen overnight. Okay, this is not nothing overnight. Like I was mentioned
Takes time.
earlier, 3 to 5 years. If you dedicate 3 to 5 years, you could definitely have 500 to 1,000 people if you have a very good product or enticing product, that are your fans, right? So if your fans are spending, $15, $20 a month, then you are living a pretty good life, you know.
Right.
And again, um, obviously, this is not for everybody, but in the world, the majority of people will never do this. So if you do it, trust me, you're gonna have some fun. There's an expression. Okay, I have a lot of French expressions because French is my first language, right? Um, and and I'm pretty sure some of these expressions they have them in English, but essentially is, you know, uh, if you want to be a master, okay, you will always have followers, right? Because that's
Yep.
how it works, right? If you want to be a boss, you will always have employees, right? You know, because employees are automatically looking for a boss.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That's what makes you an employee because you have a boss, right? And a boss, when did you ever see a boss that don't have employees, right? I mean, a lot of people call themselves bosses, but I'm talking about real bosses, right? You know what I mean?
Real
Um,
talk.
so, so essentially, if you put yourself in a position, you know, you will be, you know, uh, it'll come together, right? Like you will be in a position where you'll grow, and with all these systems and AI and all of the things that we have access to, you know, um, definitely, there's a lot of opportunity for you to get started. Now, um, Jay has said it multiple times. You can definitely go on mybrothasspot.com. We started the platform in 2025, March 2025, and we are growing the platform. But right now it's also ground floor. you know, so
Right.
you add your business on there, and you can have, the traffic that will be coming there in the future. There's already a lot of traffic there, but it's going to be a lot more traffic in the future. Then you can have a piece of that and have that traffic go on to your website, and also have a very relevant backlink that help you.
And get a taste of actually how the internet works. And you could be like, well, goddamn, I got all these people information too.
Yeah,
Can't they get people information once they have their website and all that on there linked?
that's a whole other chapter. It's called
Right,
data, and
right.
data is king on the internet.
And
You
you could
know, what
resell,
what
and
what we're
you
doing.
could resell. My bad, Willie. You could resell, to people that you have their email and make more money. I mean, you won't lose them like on IG, Facebook. You can't really do that. You want a system, they get all the data. Bring the power to yourself.
And for the people that actually have websites with us, and some of the business owners that actually list their business, we are starting in October actually. You know, mentoring program where we basically just tell you how you can set up all those systems for yourself, what you can do with the data, how you can get data, and how you can grow your business based on that data. I mean, you know, sky's the limit, because a lot of people, think that okay, everything is saturated right now. You'll be very surprised. You'll be very surprised. Okay.
It's not.
And like I
It's
say,
early.
a lot of the large business that exists right now will not be in business because they're not catching up. So opportunity is wide open, wide open, for whoever wants to participate. You don't have to know anything already. I would tell you, Jay, we started working on, I started working with Jay about 2 years ago. And
Mm-hmm.
when I'm telling you, Jay didn't know anything about anything,
Yep. Nada.
you know,
Nada.
and you just got to get out there. You know what I mean? So
And get uncomfortable.
that's right. You know, and then you learn. And Jay's not the only person that I've worked with. That I've helped in this space. I also have a
Yeah,
bunch of
brother.
clients, and they usually come out of that relationship with a lot more knowledge, a lot more understanding on how the machine works, to the point where some people probably don't need me at all. You know, because they
I'm
have a
always gonna be with Willie.
they have a strong foundation. So you know what I mean,
Willie the
like
homie, man. For real. Willie the
yeah,
homie.
yeah,
So that's just gonna be if we're doing business, if we're not, but we're probably gonna be doing business. But Willie
yeah,
the homie, man. So yeah, I'm normally I have a small circle, but I'm very loyal once you get my trust. And I I I don't have this big nose for nothing. I can smell bullshit, man. I act dumb as a motherfucker. I act stupid. You'll think I'm dumb.
yeah,
I'm I'm really peeping you out, and
yeah,
I'll figure it out. And I'm gone. You won't see me.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. So long story short, man, you guys can get on to my brother spot. We're gonna do a couple more of these. Jay is like, listen, man, can you come up a couple nights? I have some ideas, some questions, because AI, all this stuff's going on. Now, I don't have all the answers, right? I mean, it appeared like maybe I do still have some other answers. I don't know. I don't have all those answers, but I'm willing to share, what I know, you know, um, with anybody who's watching. I really love this whole space. I mean, I've been doing this 30 years, and it's still exciting for me, you know.
Okay.
Um,
And Willie, if it's exciting, what AI powered tools are the most impactful for small business growth for the people to hear? Like that's one of my questions to you.
some AI powered tools. So,
Yes.
so I mean, it depends on what you're doing, but like I say, the chatbots. I think the chatbots are probably the most effective for somebody just getting started. You know, um, just because, let's assume that you have a job, and you maybe you have two jobs, right? And you want to start a
Mhm.
business, so you're not ever available on the phone, right? You're not available on the phone, not that much. Um, so the chatbots can do, your customer service for you. It can basically, uh, you know, um, talk to a client, say, hey, this is what we're doing. If you want to buy this, you can go here, you can do there. It can do that, right? Okay, but you also have, uh, AI that's in your email, you know,
Mhm.
so you can have forms and people can, inquire, and then you can reply and say, hey, you know what? Thank you for your inquiry. I will look into it. I will get back with you in 24, 48 hours. I don't know, whichever time,
Mhm.
but obviously there's tons of tools. I'm just mentioning some of the things that if you're just getting started, that's it'll help you right away, right?
Right.
Okay. Um, that's some of them. Now, you also have, I mentioned earlier, newsletters.
Mhm.
Newsletters are huge, right? Because you
Mhm.
can actually collect information for your following. So people who come on your website, you can tell them, hey, listen, find out everything that's going on with me or with my business. Just leave your email address and your name, right?
Mhm.
Okay. And you can nurture that, right? Because over time it grows, your data grows, right? So if
Yep.
if 100 people leave the information, now you got 100 fans. 100 fans. I call them fans.
Mhm.
Anybody who come to your website, just leave their information. I call these people fans because nobody goes to that extent if they don't like anything that you're doing, right? If they like it a little bit, they will
Hmm.
leave their information, right? And
Right.
and,
Hmm.
and then you can nurture that, you can nurture that because you know that, hey, these people have some type of interest into what you're doing, right? So you can write either blogs or you can write newsletter. There's a tool called MailChimp. They're actually based out of Atlanta. you know they started in Atlanta, I think around 2010, something like that. They're
Hmm.
based out of Atlanta, and you can automate the process of staying in touch with your clients. There's another tool called Constant Contact. They do the same thing. It's a little bit more pricey, but these
Hmm.
type of tools, man, it's like a million of them. Okay.
Hmm.
We go in detail in at least we will go in detail and tell you specific tools and what I think about it, when we start
And
our
Willie,
when we
and,
start
and
our
Willie, I have one more question.
yeah.
Um, how how what if a family has a child that's very talented and just animated? I see a lot of this happening on
Did you
YouTube
say
where
talented and animated? Is that what you say?
yeah, animated. One of these animated children out here, and parents are proud of them. And like, I recommend they get a subscription platform for that child.
Oh yeah, I mean definitely. It depends. Some parents are, not so keen to have their kids involved in anything on the internet, but
No,
for
I'm
those
talking
who
about the ones that's doing it like on Facebook, on YouTube. They
oh
have,
yeah, 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 definitely,
yeah,
definitely,
they should,
definitely. And
why
actually,
give
it
this
would be a
platform
teaching
money?
moment. It would be a teaching moment to show your kid actually how to run a business. You know what I mean?
Right. Thank
Yeah,
you, Will.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely would be because now you're teaching them how to start a brand, run the brand. You know what I mean? Um, Maybe through their subscription, they can have merchandise, with the
Right.
kids, brand and whatever. Um,
Hopefully
so
they ain't hopefully they not the hood kids telling their mom to shut up and all that. I hope it's just, they're just smart children and you could, represent us in a nice way where the world sees us and see the normal brothers and sisters, not the ones
yeah.
out here, that we've been raised the way we've been raised
Well,
and they just
unfortunately, right now,
on
you know,
BS. Mhm.
right now the some of the parents that have like that's a gifted kids, right, or maybe they know how to sing real good, whatever.
Right,
Unfortunately, they don't understand this whole branding stuff. They are chasing the big recording companies. They are
right.
chasing Hollywood. You can actually do it yourself and build your own brand. And there are actually a couple of people that I follow on YouTube. um you know, I'm usually busy working on stuff like that. I'm not like I don't like to watch Netflix, and I'm not a movie guy.
You don't like watching Netflix?
I have Netflix, but I don't watch it. Maybe I should
Right.
cut it off. But but there's these guys that do all these little skits on
Mm,
YouTube.
mm.
And I watch that skits are like short, like 3-4 minutes, where it's like funny as hell most of the time.
Oh, okay.
It's a guy named Air Haj TV, whatever, and he has some pretty funny skits. And there's another guy, I can't think of his name, right? He always go like to the max. He's from California, you know.
Oh, mm,
Yeah, yeah. Um, but these people they running their own brand, you know. Um, how to get rich in 21 days. It's not 71 days. It's not possible. Okay.
yeah.
And here's why I say it's not possible, right?
Mm,
The quickest way to get rich I don't, is that said that's 71 days. Yeah. So
mhm.
usually to get rich in 71 days means that you're doing something illegal, and
And
you
that's
don't
on the
know
real.
that, right? Now, even with AI and all that stuff, okay, let's not forget that you still have to be a hard worker. Remember, I keep saying 3 to 5 years. We have to
Yeah.
be a little bit more patient because, a lot of people want stuff done in a couple of months, that kind of stuff, right? Okay.
I'm so
So,
glad that I put that up there because that was like 30 some minutes ago. He
yeah.
put that, and I just learned how to work this.
Okay. Cool. Cool. Well, and that's the thing. The thing is, we have to know how to build, strong foundations to our system. We just want stuff to happen overnight.
Right.
Even with AI, you still do have to take the time to build the proper foundation for your business. Okay. Um, and we watch, as a community, we watch a lot of media, whether it be TV, social media, stuff like that. You got those guys that come on social media with a lot of money. They made this money, they're driving this car, and then, this kind of stuff, right? Okay.
Right.
Um, that's bad mentality. It's a bad mentality. And the reason why is because, I mean, don't get me wrong. If you have the money, you can go buy a Ferrari and enjoy it, and if that makes you happy,
Mhm.
Um, but but that's not what it's about. You don't make money to buy Ferraris, right?
Yeah.
You make money to,
Be able to defend yourself.
well, yeah, so improve your life. Maybe people around you, maybe if you have kids, you can make sure ensure that they're going to have, better education than you had, or better opportunities. If they're into, acting, maybe they can get into theater now. If they're playing sports now, you
Mhm.
can support them and pay for the trips and pay for the, sports is expensive, right? Okay. um so um so essentially, being rich in 21 days or 71 days, doesn't make any sense because,
Yeah.
first of all, what's the definition of rich, right? But second
Yeah.
of all, you know if you do anything in that short amount of time,
That's a bad
probably
pyramid scheme.
probably is not, the foundation is not solid, right?
Right.
And people will tell me whatever they're going to tell me. That's just the way I feel. If you can make money in that short of a time, good for you. I'm probably not interested,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, they used I seen it happen in the 80s. I remember some of the homies start selling crack in my
Right.
neighborhood
That's what I'm saying.
and got rich.
Illegal
But
stuff. There's a lot of stuff you can
that's what I'm
do.
saying.
Yeah.
Like that's how it normally happens.
Yeah.
So it takes time, like Willie said, to make money, and we have to get that out of our culture, man. It's killing us. It's a process. Look, we have to. It's certain things to
So what I want to know.
certain things of being an adult.
Yeah.
And one thing is when we're growing up, I remember this, man. I had a pimp live like in the neighborhood where I
Right.
was raised in a Crip neighborhood.
Right.
And this pimp used to always say, I'm not broke. And because they laughing because he had like a ugly ass Cadillac Seville, right?
Right.
And he said, if I had a fresher car, or if I had fresher gear and all that, I couldn't dress up my women. And he said, see, if I had a nice car and dressing up my women in a nice house, he said, that means I don't have no dough. He says, I got a lot of dough because I don't have all that stuff. He said, you see all these niggas out here at the park? They got they 6'4" Impalas, on Dayton's and all that. They don't have no cash, man. And I remember that. All these brothers out here flossing that aren't athletes, young ladies. The young ladies that's gonna see this. I'm not talking to the queens that's in the house. I'm talking to the young ladies. These young bucks that's 25, 26, 27, 28, they don't have no money. They flossing. That's why I'm Ubering now because I got a fucking Kia Stinger. And I was trying, I really love that car, but I didn't graduate to that level. So I got to work, a couple of weeks, a month to fucking pay the rest of that car note because I got laid off my job. And what my brother spot provided for me as in my online business with my business cronies covered the other bills. Thank God I met Willie. Thank God I met My Brothas Spot. You know what I'm saying? This works. This fucking works. So I'm just a living legend of how this works. You know what I'm saying? So anybody who wants to get with My Brothas Spot, y'all sign up. At least list your business. You know what I'm saying? Get into it. We have it to where it's $10 a month for 10 products. If you sell incense, soaps, natural soaps, all that stuff, please have an LLC. Please have a business license or something like that. We could give you more visibility instead of being on these other websites where you really don't have high-speed dedicated servers and you're not going to be seen. You're just, I mean, people not going to search past the first page. I mean, all those other ones, GoDaddy, the Wix, and all, I'm sorry to admit that. You're going to only be on the fucking 5th page and no one's going to see you. 12 people, 15 people seeing you, especially over years. That's not, Willie, would you tell me it has to be like 800 and something to really make some money? People visit your shit monthly.
Well, it's a percentage,
Right,
percentage of the people who actually visit your website. It's a very small percentage of them that end up actually buying product from you,
right,
is under 1%, right? It's
right.
probably like half the less than half of 1%, right?
So you need a
So,
gang of people seeing
so
your
you
shit.
need, a decent amount of visitors in order for you to make a profitable income, right? So if you have 1,000 people and you have, half a percentage that actually buy from you, then half a percentage of 1,000 people, that's 5 people,
See,
right?
this is
So
right.
if you want to, so like,
I was wrong.
if you want, income that you get on a consistent basis, then you need a lot of traffic. You need to be seen a lot more, and you have to build that up by different connections, backlinks, like I was mentioning earlier, blogging, and that stuff doesn't happen in 71 days, right? You know what I'm
Right,
saying? So you
right.
have to do all that stuff. But the good thing
And we're
is,
not making fun of a mod if he sees us later.
no,
I
you
can't.
know what? To tell the
Yeah,
truth, I'm really hitting on that because I do meet a lot of people who want, uh, they're like, hey, listen, if I put $1 into this, okay, I want my dollar back and some in like 2 days, right?
yeah,
And that's why I'm insisting on this, because that's not the right mentality, right?
yeah.
Because that's just not how it works, right?
But we
Um,
used to flipping in our culture. I mean, shit. When
yeah,
I was in
even the
college, I
flipping
was
stuff,
selling weed. We flip stuff. That's our culture, man.
we flip stuff, but most of
Right.
the time, you know,
I'm a
it
real
doesn't work.
motherfucker.
It doesn't work most of the
Right.
time. You know what I mean? Um, or if it does work, then somebody else is gonna find out that it's working, and they're gonna come see you.
Yeah.
You
Real
know what I'm
talk.
saying?
Because they
Yeah,
always got their eyes on you. Like
yeah,
right now, any of the youth, I love my youth.
yeah,
Please don't commit a crime anywhere. They got cameras everywhere. They gonna fucking find you, man.
yeah,
It's done. Stealing, killing water boys. If you ever see this, stop doing dumb shit. Learn how to sell that water. Learn how to sell other stuff and improve your etiquette. Because if you don't, if you get upset and do a crime, there's cameras everywhere. They gonna see you. They got facial recognition. You done, man. And I don't know why our people aren't telling them this. You know, our youth, because I care. You know what I'm saying? Even though I'm mean and I'm kind of harsh, but that's because I fucking care. If I was nice and going, well, and like all our black leaders, it'd be okay. They don't give a fuck. That's why they do that. I do. So I'm mean. I say some stuff that'd be like, damn, that's harsh. Why you say that? Because I fucking care. Because if I didn't have my mom and pops, I could have been those kids out on the block. Because your parents are your book. They are your environment. And if that parent doesn't put the right environment and put that harsh mentality down on the children, they're not going to respect nobody. And then what that does is that helps America compete against China because they go to prison and they work for 4 cents an hour. And no one is breaking this down like I'm breaking it down. They're breaking it down in another way, but I'm just telling you in a layman's terms. They want this shit to happen.
Well, nowadays committing crime is harder than making money online using AI. So I don't
Right,
even see what the point is. You
right.
see what I'm saying? It's
And
it's a,
you make way more
it's
money
a lot
in
harder.
the
It's a
street.
lot harder. You know what I mean? And criminal nowadays, criminals they're not that smart nowadays, right? You know. Um, so I read a story years ago. I was reading uh, like a newspaper or a blog, and it's this guy. His uncle had had money in a safe, right?
Mhm.
Maybe 10 or 15,000. He doesn't know exactly, but he knew it was a lot of money in the safe. So his uncle
Mhm.
goes on a trip, and this
Oh,
dumbass,
Lord.
the house had like a
Oh
system,
no.
right? The house had a system like security system, but the security system doesn't work with the back door, right? So the guy
Right,
leaves the back door open, right? So he
right.
tells his two dumbest friend, "Yo, my uncle got like 10 or 15,000 in the safe. So guess what? I left the back door open, and the security system doesn't work with the back door. So
Uh,
we're just gonna go in the back door and go in the house and get the safe, right? So guess what? So they go in the back door, and the neighbor sees them and call the cops, and they all get arrested for breaking and entering. And I'm just like, that is the dumbest thing ever, right? It's the dumbest thing ever. And the thing is, okay, you want to go and take the 10,000. People think it's so easy, but I'm like, yo, listen, you can actually literally start your business today and make, 10 to 15,000 in 71 days.
but
You,
but check this out. It's
you know,
like 3 years from then.
right? And then
You
that's
know,
legit money, and then you
sometimes
learn.
sometime you may luck out it be two, and you're making that monthly.
Right, so that's the thing, and you learn a lot in the process, and if you know how to fish, guess what, you will never starve.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But if you want to take the high road, and do it real quick, and and buy your portion. There's a movie that I saw called State Property. You probably know that movie.
Yeah, I saw State Property,
Yeah,
Dame Dash, and all
yeah,
of them.
yeah. Okay.
Kings.
So I
Yeah.
regret watching that movie because it's one of the dumbest movie I ever watched in my life. But you know,
Don't let Damon Dash hear you say
hey,
he start
listen.
cussing with you.
So here's how the movie goes. It's pretty much like any movie that came out like early
Right,
2000, right? It's like the same
right,
storyline, right? But essentially, these guys are sitting around the table and they're like, "Yo, man, I want to make money. I want to make money. Like I want to be a millionaire. You know what I'm saying?" And they're like in the hood, and it's like they don't have money. Nobody has money. And they're just
right.
like, back in the day they used to wear the long jersey and all that stuff, right? So
Yeah,
with
I
the
used
hat
to
on
do
the
that.
side and whatever.
I
So
used
so
to do
they're basically dressed like that, and they're having this conversation, right? And the guy's like, "Yo, I know what we're gonna do. We're just gonna,
that.
And then he take out a gun. He's like, well, I don't remember the exact movie, so whoever knows the movie, I may not be telling the story properly, right? But he basically go like, we're gonna go to every block and take over, right? And then after that, it's like shooting, shooting, shooting. They like taking over blocks, right?
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
right,
And then they're at a big ass mansion, right?
right.
And they're like
I
eating
know.
grapes and drinking wine or
Yeah.
whatever. But you don't
And
really
then
know
the
what
music
happened,
comes
right?
on.
Right.
Yeah,
But you
yeah.
don't really know what happened. All it was is these guys went to be millionaires. It was a whole bunch of shootings, and they became millionaires, and they took over block. And then
That
one of the
goes in
things
our
they used to
that
say,
goes, but
so
that
in the
goes in
movie,
our children's subconscious,
that's
man.
right. So they are
Yeah,
busting the thing and say, "You go." you're gonna get down or lay down.
Yeah.
You know?
No, on the real, and
Yeah.
now in hindsight, Willie, it's
It's a
funny.
dumbass
But,
movie, man.
but when I was younger
Yeah.
and saw that shit, I was like, oh, okay, that shit,
Right.
I
Because
nodded my head a little bit.
this is how you breed ignorance. Because you
Yeah.
know, it's even in the criminal world, it's not that easy. It's not that easy to get down, lay down, and next thing you know, you having you drinking champagne at like 11 in the morning
But
and
this the thing,
eating
Willie.
grapes and
This the thing, Willie. I'm gonna be straight up. Like in the prisons, those are some of the smartest brothers that I've met when they come back off the block, just doing things that's incredible, like scientifically, like even creating foods that's non-nutritious and making it taste good. It's some amazing shit that I experienced. My cousin was in the pen. He'll fucking, he'll blood. He from
right.
Compton and very intelligent, especially in school, but he wanted to be a Damu, you know.
Yeah.
So that's just it's our culture. Like majority, I'm gonna be straight up. Like Willie, if you didn't have mom and dad, you may have went the other way. If I didn't have mom and dad, I may have went the and Willie, you still would have been smart.
Yeah.
It's the kids are smart. They're just the culture is making them do dumb things.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
No,
and
I can definitely agree. And I know people in Atlanta who
mhm.
I thought were very smart as well, and they got caught in a stupid situation, right?
Did
And
they have mom and pops or did they have grandma?
probably the latter. You know what I mean? So
Right. That's
yeah,
what I'm saying. Me and you, we're blessed. A lot of even though I was raised in a Crip neighborhood, my mom and pops took care of me. And on top of that, Willie, my pops was crazy. I mean, I think that Vietnam War really. I used to be afraid of my dad. Like my dad was crazy. And like all the Crips in the neighborhood leave him alone. They like, hey, Mr. Hatnot, hey, like that, and wouldn't even fuck with him because he let him know, like, you mess with my son, I shoot you. And he was serious in 80. I shoot you. That's why Serena and her sister, when the father King used to basically give me tennis lessons at Victoria Park because my dad wanted me to get, I played basketball. He wanted my footwork to be better. Yo, man, him and my like Serena and them and dad and my dad was like cool. They liked each other because they both was crazy as fuck. Serena, I
yeah,
saw him go off on some Crips.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I was there. I was playing. I didn't want to play tennis. I was like, what the? And I saw Serena and them when they were little, man. It's people out here on Facebook right now saying, yo, man, that's a man. And then I saw them motherfucker girls when they had French braids in their head, and they were girls. And I went and we used to swim in the Victoria Park pools in the summertime. Hair, Jerry curls all turning
Yeah,
goddamn red because of chemical. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Well,
Like,
those same guys are saying that they be the
yeah.
same people that's messing with men. But anyway,
But no, it's a real conspiracy going. Okay, some of the people may be, but I'm telling certain people like that I care about in the Aboriginal American, Indian industry, like, yo, you may want to lay off Serena. I know she's a girl and her sister. They're fucking female. I saw them when they were babies. I used to be in the pool. We saw their shapes. We're a little bit older. You know what I'm saying? But we said, come on, man. Those are little girls, man. It's like
yeah,
I don't know why we're on this fantasy stuff sometime, man. And we have to wake up and be like, look, AI is here. Okay. Um, I may need a website. No, I do need a website. I just got laid off my job. So let me do a little Uber or something else and let me save so I can make a monthly on a one-page website, customized website on My Brothas Spot, let it rank, and then get used to making some money because it will happen.
yeah, yeah.
So that's kind of sad. I don't know who someone on here got
Well,
some And is that dentures? What is that? Willie,
Yeah,
is that dentures?
I have no idea.
Copacetic. Oh, that's a brother or sister. How you doing? What do you mean that's kind of sad? I don't.
Well, they're talking about the situations that we were talking about.
I'm sorry, copacetic. Yeah, it is sad, and I hate it, man. Yo, Willie, I'm gonna be straight up with the Water Boys. Like, I feel bad when I pull up in Midtown sometime, and I just go all the way on the other side and roll up my window because I know they're gonna be disrespectful. Why don't you want to buy water? They don't even give me a chance to be like, hey man, I'm glad you out here. Here's $2. Here's $5. Because I would do that, but their approach is so aggressive and they wow. And I don't even want to interact with them because I got a temper. I'll be like, look, little nigga, fuck you talking to? And then they got their little purse and they may have a toolie in it. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to shoot no one. Everybody got toolies in Atlanta. I don't want to shoot no kids. So I'm gonna go all the way on the other side and evade them. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Because they could get lucky and hit me, but why would I want to shoot a kid?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That motherfucker is just like we're the same ox. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I don't look at
But
children
like
as
you were saying, it's like they're out of direction, and maybe they don't have anybody looking out. But this is why we're doing what we're doing, right? So that
right,
we can in the future we don't have to have kids off the highway selling water, right?
right.
We can actually, I mean, you look at the Jewish communities. All the communities they have Jewish community centers, and the kids actually they keep those kids occupied. They're learning so many different things,
Yeah,
you
they
know,
be learning business, Willie.
and that's because all the businesses give back to the community,
Right.
so that the kids don't have to be out and doing all kinds of stuff like this, right? You know what I
Right.
mean? And you know what? I was a kid in Atlanta too, so you know, unfortunately in Atlanta there's still a lot of poverty in the black community,
Yes, it
and
is.
I mean, I had my parents, but you know, like most of my friends didn't have their parents. Like they come out their house, they're just out, like
That's
just
what I'm saying,
hanging
man.
out, and
We was fucking lucky,
you
man.
know, I used to have friends, man. It's like for the whole time that I knew them, they never came up with a good idea ever.
Right. Yeah.
All the
Right.
ideas they had was just bad idea. And nobody registered that it's a bad idea but me. It's like, oh, we're gonna go do that. I'm like, okay, I'll see you guys later, man.
Man, my cousin would come over my house. The
Yeah,
very few times no, it was over my cousin house in
yeah,
Carson. She lived in DA, East Coast. They they the- they were a different crip from Stevenson
mm,
Village. So I go down there, ride my bike through uh, Dominguez Hills College, ride my bike when it was dirt roads and you had hills you could do tricks. So I'm on my fucking Team Murray. You know what I'm saying? And I'm riding through there, and then I go to the house. I tell my parents, "Hey, I'm going over to Sharonica and Teresa house. See my cousin. Okay, okay, it's daytime. Boom, go through there, right? Mark. Well, I can't say my cousin. Shit. So, but he show up. Hey, man. At Crown Drugs, man. That old man. He's at the register. All he do is damn near sleep. Man, we get now laters. It's that shit. You know what I'm saying? And his parents really didn't. They was there, but just didn't pay attention to him, man. And I see where that went. On my bloodline with him.
hmm
Now his son is doing well because we all came together and took care of his son. Me
right,
minimal with my little cousin. I still don't know him well, but
yeah,
you know, the my cousins, Sharonica, Trina, man, raised him. Teresa raised him, just gave him love, and now he graduated from UNLV. So you see the difference because he was always with him. And
right,
I'm talking about those sisters like Sharona, Therese, and Trina. They redirect. They ain't playing. So
Mhm.
he got that to where his father didn't.
Yeah,
It was like, all right, you know, um, you on this block and in Compton, and the block raised them. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So, yeah, man, I know we got to get off, Willie, family. Whoever looked at this tonight, we really appreciate you guys. Um, my name is Jay Hadwin. If you don't know, his name is Willie. This is our senior web developer. Um, Everything that we're doing now, him and his team is really breaking open opportunities for y'all. And
And
Willie, I want to say I appreciate you, brother. I know
no,
you only
not a
got like
problem.
3 hours of sleep, man. You know
No,
what I'm
not
saying?
a problem. And I know that you've got some more questions that you prepared for me and stuff like that. And it'll be a pleasure to, meet with you again and just
Right,
go over those other things
right,
that we want to share with you guys. Okay.
right.
Um, so I mean, I've answered it the best that I can. I don't have it. It was
Willie, you did good, man. You
freestyling,
did
you know, but definitely, looking forward to talk to you again, and then in
right.
October, we'll be starting, like I was saying, mentoring program, so
Mhm,
to help, people who startups, like black-owned businesses startup,
mhm,
and right now is the best time ever. I mean, it has never been, a time where it's easier to get started just because of, all of the tools and all of the systems that, AI allows, you know, uh, business people to do with
mhm,
very little resources, So we want to share that because we would like to see, more people get in business and and see money basically move
mhm,
inside of the community, because then we'll see that that really makes a big difference down the line.
mhm.
Yeah.
That's right. All right. All right. Well, hey, those are the same questions, Willie.
Yeah. No
I'm
problem. No.
All right, brother. All right, family, we out. And remember to subscribe, like this video, and show us some love and share these our videos, man. This isn't easy to get up here and talk to people who we really don't know sometimes. It's not as easy as I thought it would be when I just started this. Pretty hard. So yeah, give us some love. And we're out. See you later.
All right. Take care, guys.